Hi, and thanks for joining me here in my kitchen where I'm going to show you how to make an easy lemon lentil soup. And it's all going to be in my crock pot. And I love using crock pot, especially in the summertime in South Texas. It gets super hot, and so instead of heating up my kitchen with the oven or working over the stove, I can just throw everything in here, and then when I come home from work, it's already done and I have a meal. And we're going to get right to it. The ingredients are going to be our onion. It calls for 1 medium onion, but the onions I purchased were really baby, and I didn't think you were going to believe me, but let me show you how tiny some of these little onions are. So I'm actually going to use 2 to replace the 1 medium onion. And really simply, we just want to chop it up, take off that little thin layer. Keep as much as you can though of the onion, because you're still going to get some nice phytochemicals in there. Onion's been shown to be a cancer preventative type of vegetable, so pretty neat. Very potent though, and a fun fact is that I wear contacts, hard contacts, so I don't cry when I cut onions. So that's kind of a little trick of the trade. Now, this one's still pretty strong because I can feel the sting, but no tears here. So that works out for me. Maybe not for my cameraman, but we'll see. So we're just cutting our onion up. This is always a great base for every soup, any recipe that you do. Onion and garlic, right? And we're also going to be adding some carrot as well. So because my onion was so tiny, I'm going to be adding two baby onions to make 1, hopefully, medium-sized onions. Now the thing about cooking in a crock pot is that your moisture does not leak out. Just like if you're cooking over the stove, if you're boiling, you lose water, right? But in the crock pot, all the liquid stays inside because we'll seal it up. And so because of that, you have to think a little bit about your liquid ratios. And we will be cooking the lentils dry, and we'll have enough liquid in there though to cook the lentils and still give a nice texture to the soup. So we're almost finished with our onion. A few more cuts and dices in here, and then we're going to add it to the slow cooker. Wonderful. Okay, so let's pop it all in here, and we'll move on to our garlic. Slide it all. More onion, the better. Okay, so close that up. Get our garlic here on the cutting board. And again, you're just going to want to make really small cuts, dice it up. Now I already took the paper off. And you'll notice with garlic that it does stick to your hand. The paper does. And the reason is because there's very little moisture, very little water content in garlic. That's what makes it so sticky. But a small price to pay for a really good flavor in this soup. You can buy the jarred garlic, and I've used that before as well if you don't want to get your hands smelling like garlic. But I do have an easy solution I'll show you to getting that garlic scent off of your hands. So 1 more. I had 3 garlic cloves, anywhere from 3 to 5. These were pretty big garlic cloves, so I'm just going to put 5 in here. If you don't have fresh garlic, you could use your powdered garlic. That works out too. All right, so once that's cut up, stick in that with our onions. We're going to add our carrots as our next thing. So it calls for 2 medium carrots. I only have baby carrots. A carrot's a carrot. So throw them in there, that beautiful vitamin A that you get. And I'm going to make them just like our little coins. Okay, so just cut them full side around. Now this soup can be left kind of chunky, or it can be pureed by using an immersion blender or sticking it into just a regular blender. I do like my soups a little chunkier, so I'm probably going to keep it the way it is. Although again, you can blend it up and get a smoother texture. So once you get all your chopping done, everything else is just throwing the ingredients in, which is super cool. So we'll keep going and cutting. I'm using a Santoku knife on a blade there. And being very careful about my fingers. So focusing on that too. So the more that you cook at home, more confidence you'll build. It's awesome. I love cooking. I started cooking in college because I had to, and I haven't stopped. So once that's all in there, we're going to be adding our 1 cup of lentils. These are red lentils. Love the color in there. So red lentils. Now I'm going to add a can of cream corn because I didn't have regular corn, which is typically what you'll throw in here. But the cream corn will actually get me more liquid, which works out perfect because the recipe calls for 6 cups of vegetable broth and I only have 4 cups, so 32 ouncer. So actually that makes up for a lot of my liquid there. So I'm using a veggie broth. You can also use chicken broth, but this was what will make it vegetarian, even vegan, because we don't have any of our animal products in there. And then our spices to throw in is just our cumin, so 2 teaspoons. So that would be my pumpkin size, 2 teaspoons here, which should be most of what's left in my container. And 1 teaspoon of some ground curry. So that beautiful golden color, love it. 1 teaspoon of that. And we'll just give that a mix. Make sure everything's combined in there. Okay. And again, we're not gonna lose any liquid. It's gonna help cook our lentils up. And then we'll pop the lid and we're gonna put this on high for 2 to 3 hours. You can also put it on low for about 5 to 6 hours, but I'm eating this for dinner tonight. So on high, 2 to 3 hours, and we'll see what it turns out when we get back. Hi, and welcome back to our lemon lentil soup. And in the first video, I know I talked about garlic, and if you get the scent on your hands, what do? And you'll simply just take something that's stainless steel and you'll just rub your hands on stainless steel. If you have a stainless steel sink, that's an easy way to go about it as well. But just a great tip to have so your hands don't have to smell like garlic all day. Well, it's been 3 hours and we're gonna check on our crock pot to see how our soup came out, and it is beautiful. So we have a golden, rich yellow color, which is what we're wanting. We see the carrots in there. Now remember, you can take an immersion blender to this soup if you want it a little creamier. I'm gonna leave it just like it is. I like the little bit of chunks in there. I used the cream corn rather than the whole corn, so it already kind of makes a very nice texture right there. Now to make it a lemon lentil soup, I need lemon. So that's the last thing you're going to add to this dish is zest of lemon. So I'm using a zester here. And that zest is where all the beautiful citrus oils are at. So it really punches up the flavor. So I'm gonna give, I don't know, probably zest around the lemon about 1 or 2 times. And then I already have half of a lemon in my squeezer here, in my little juicer. So I'm just gonna squeeze the rest of the lemon in there. Excellent. And this is too where you adjust the salt and pepper to taste. Remember, we did use vegetable broth for our base, which has some sodium already. And so to me, I'm probably just gonna add a little bit of pepper. So I'm gonna dish this out in my little soup bowl here, trying not to make a mess, and you know what? It happens. It's still gonna taste just as good. So this is gonna pair nicely with the fresh bread that I just made. And so, you know, clean that edge and you're good to go. So I'm gonna enjoy this for dinner, and I hope you enjoy it as well.